Hey everyone, I'm here with Tommy from Paychex. Say what's up, Tommy.
Hey, what's going on, OneMob world?
All right. So, hey everyone, Tommy is a seller. And what I'm going to quickly do is pass it over to you, Tommy. Please help us understand what you do at Paychex and what was the pain, the challenge that you were facing.
I've been with Paychex about 11 years in outside sales, bringing on new businesses. Um, I've bounced around to a few different areas and territories, but that's basically been my focus the entire time. My biggest gripe was we had no sales tool that allowed me to prioritize my prospecting based on who was actually interested. Everything was a blind email, a blind phone call. And in the fast paced world that I sell in, it wasn't cutting it anymore. So I needed a tool that I could prioritize who was interested now that I could meet with and, start taking them through the process.
Wow, that's awesome. And I think you are so relevant to what a lot of sellers are facing right now. They have so much out there, there's so much noise. So now walk me through how OneMob was able to help you with that pain.
OneMob doesn't just allow you to send video messages and set yourself apart from other sellers in your territory. What it also allows you to do is put attachments. So here I have some like a link to some different integrations that Paychex has. I have some standalone products. When most people think of my service and my industry, it's moving the whole house to us, where with Paychex, it's actually not the case. So there's even a section here for non-payroll support and what we can do from an HR standpoint. But what this also allows me to do is when I send this to a blind, 30 to 50 prospects, I'm able to see what they're most interested in by, clicking on it, what they watch, what they view, how long they view it. And it allows me to prioritize those calls first. It's real time action. So I know when somebody goes on and I can be making that phone call 5 to 10 minutes after they see it. So it's still front of mind. Oh, and I know that they're actually working that day and they're not in a meeting. So it is an incredible tool from that respect.
Wow, you said a lot of great things. So let me try to summarize. So first, you're saying, you have the video, which I think kind of creates that human connection. But more importantly, is you added content around it so that you can, again, explore the portfolio. You can share all the other things that Paychex does. And then as you send this through OneMob in a campaign, you are able to track each person, what they're clicking on, which then tells you, one, are they in the office? Two, is this a good time to reach out to them? And three, when you do reach out to them, what can you drill into because you can see what they're doing on the microsite? Did I get that right?
You got all that right. Yeah. It's an incredible tool. And what's cool about this, it's not just a blind prospecting software. It's not just a prioritizing prospecting. I also utilize OneMob for post-meeting follow-ups. Okay, maybe I didn't touch on something in that meeting and they happen to click on it post-meeting because I send them a follow-up email just thanking them for their time. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even think to touch on that because it's an industry thing, or it just never came up in conversation. I can then readdress that on the next meeting that I do have with a given prospect as I'm walking them through a sales process.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that use case, like that post sale. Again, we wrapped up the call. Let me put together a quick summary, add those missing points. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'd imagine in your sales cycle, you probably have multiple influencers, decision makers. So this can get forwarded around, and all of a sudden, now you're able to educate and inform all the buyers, not just the one that was on the meeting.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, on average, there's anywhere between 2 to 6 different people that are involved in making these decisions. So, yeah, knowing what and who looks at what allows me to kind of guide the conversation with each individual as I'm going through the process. Yes.
That's awesome. And then finally, can you share some results, like as you've been using the platform, what has been the results with respect to maybe engagement, leads, meetings, sales?
My engagement has now increased to, by the time I'm at the end of my process, just over, it's between 30 and 35% engagement on cold prospecting that allows me to, get in the door, be in the door, and again, separate myself. I don't know anybody in my industry that's using this type of software and this type of approach that I am.
Last thing, advice for folks who are, again, struggling, they're trying to get noticed, they're trying to prospect more effectively. They find OneMob, like what would be your one or two tips to get the most success out of the platform?
Just dive in, dive in. Don't hesitate. Eat the frog, so to say. Just start using it. Start using it. Don't be afraid to mess up. Whenever you start in a new job, in a new role, whatever, you're always going to feel a little bit awkward. This is no different. Just dive in, start doing it. Take several takes. Still, I'll take several takes on a video before I even send it out, and then I end up spending more time editing it to make sure I'm making sense, not saying 100 times in a 1 minute video. And that's the last piece. Keep the videos short, unless it's a recap. Keep them to no longer than what you would leave a voicemail, and you get that much more engagement, that much more watches, that many more views, and that many more prospects that you're able to prioritize and speak to.
I love that. And then are you, because you kind of mentioned something right there before we jumped onto this was, you kind of have your personalized microsites, but then it sounds like you also have like generic ones that you just rinse and repeat. Or is that also something that you found helpful to kind of get more use out of the platform?
Yeah, this is actually one that I wash, rinse, repeat, and use every single week. I recorded it once, like I said, I used it or recorded it a few pounds ago. This is probably about 2 months old, and I use it every single week to start my prospecting. And yeah, so it's not every single time I'm sending out an email or prospecting. No, I'm not recreating the wheel. I reuse almost all of my content, so that I'm not having to get ready after the gym in the morning and record something new. So yes.
Awesome. Hey, Tommy, thank you so much for sharing this journey, this story. I know people are going to probably want to ping you, so I'll let them connect with you on LinkedIn if they have other
Yeah.
questions, but I really appreciate this, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely, Santi.